coming to you from Mantis Martial Arts. Today I want to give you two simple stretches, kind of advanced stretches that you can use to open up your hips, open up your quads, and help you be a little bit more mobile when you're working on your BJJ or anything else that applies to health and fitness here. So the first one we have is a seated 90-90, and what this is primarily going to focus on is we have two options here. We can focus on the back glute of the front leg, or we can focus on the quad and hip of the hind leg. So when I'm setting myself up in here, and I've got 90 degrees here, and I've also got 90 degrees here. So the first thing you do is you stick your hand on your ankle here, and you'll lean forward towards your shin here. Now, I like to put my elbow on my knee here to help hold myself in place, but what I can do is I can kind of manipulate my position a little bit and try and find a good spot that'll stretch out somewhere on the back side of the hip. And what you're getting here is right back here in the glute, all those external rotators. And essentially it's the same as doing this, however this one is a little bit more versatile and that you do have the options to change how you do this a little bit. Now what I find to be very, very effective is to squeeze the glute of the hind leg, because it'll bring your pelvis forward towards that and it'll really target the area. So in this, when my pelvis comes forward, I close off the space on the inside of my hip, and what it does is it exposes all those tight areas back here. So what I can do is squeeze my back glute, in this case my right butt cheek here, and I press my hips forward towards that front heel, and that really hits a glory spot for me right there. Now, what you also have the option to do back here with the same stretch is you can roll forward and really stretch out the hip flexor here. And if you want, you can grab this back quad, and you can also stretch out the quad here too. Very effective. Now, one other method here in this that I like to use, aside from trying to bring myself down to this floor, is I like to take my hand and I like to cross it over towards the front knee, put it palm up, and then I cross it over, and then I lean in towards my front foot over here. Take a few deep breaths, and it really puts an emphasis not only on that hip, but also some thoracic or upper spine rotation, which is very important, especially when it's talking about mobility and your martial art or your just general health and well-being. All right. Now the last one here is called the Bretzel, and that was popularized by a guy named Brett Jones. Phenomenal man. This one's a little bit complicated. So what you're going to do is you're going to lie on your side here. You're going to bring your top leg forward. You're going to bring your back leg back, and you're going to grab your ankle or your foot here, and you're going to pull that back into position. And then you're going to hook this side of your leg. Now you'll notice in an actual good Bretzel, I should be able to get my knee down here, my foot down on the back side, and my shoulder down on this back side too. However, that might not happen if you're a little tight like I am. So what you'll do, I like to keep this leg on the ground, and then I like to try and bring this one down as I press down with my shoulder. So you'll come to this position and you'll lie back here. Now as I lie back here, my focus is going to be on squeezing my butt here and making sure this isn't moving, but also taking big deep breaths to try and drop my upside shoulder to the ground. So this is what this will look like. So you'll let your eyes lead in the direction you're going to turn with your head towards that up shoulder, and you're going to try and breathe that shoulder blade down to the ground. And you'll notice I gained quite a bit more mobility already. That's all I have for you today. That was the Bretzel and the 90-90 seated glute stretch.